me just start by saying I really appreciate the international flair of this program. I enjoy seeing raw food chefs from all over the world, and I certainly enjoy having Dr. Graham moderate these shows for us and to teach us. And every week I learn something new, and I think for me it's all about building community. This is the first and the only show of its kind in the raw food world. And I love the connections that we're making. And, I just want to invite everybody to speak up, and we value your feedback. We just want to take a few minutes. We'd like to hear, what you think of the show as well. So please don't be shy. Tell us the kind of things you like and the kinds of things you'd like to see more of and what we can do better.
Okay, this is Feather. I have something to reflect here. First of all, I love the presentation. I love how they were coming from such a cultural background and showing what they actually do in their kitchen. I think that's fantastic. I'm a little bit concerned about or confused about the fruit mixed with the fats. I learned that keeping those separate is best. I mean, how is that going to digest? Coconut, almonds, and mangoes with, all this, how's that going to digest? That's my question. Is that something that...
Patience for them.
Okay, well, I'll give you a start on that. Various factors help with the digestion of fats. One of the things that has to happen to fats is they have to become emulsified, which means they get broken into a whole bunch of little pieces. And then our digestive enzymes can work on them better. So the way you emulsify a fat is by adding an acid. So this is part of why we see acid in the stomach, is to help us deal with fats. Hence, any of the acid fruits like berries or mangoes or pineapple or citrus, all of these acid fruits technically actually help us with our digestion of fatty foods. So I have no qualms about putting berries or mangoes or any of that sort of thing in with nuts or seeds or avocados, because it's going to digest just fine. In fact, very often better than it would if you ate it on its own. Obviously, when you eat it with vegetables, the vegetables are sort of diluting the fat quite a bit, so you're not getting such a heavy dose of fat all at one point. But as far as fruits, it's really, yes, you're correct. You learn, like, keep your fats and the fruits separate, but really what was meant was non-acid foods. So, for instance, melons, which have very little to no acidity, this is not going to go well. You eat that with melon and avocado or melon and almond, and you're going to have an upset. It's not going to digest well. It's not going to eliminate well. If you go to the non-acidic fruits like the sapodillo or the mango or the sapodillo or the mamey or the bananas, fruits that truly have no acidity whatsoever, these are not going to do well. And so, yes, Arish used a little bit of raisin, but very little, really. I mean, I don't even remember how much he said, but it was a very small amount in an entire pie of which you're going to eat a slice. So, I mean, if you have excellent digestion, this will probably pose no trouble whatsoever. But if your digestion is compromised, in all cases, if your digestion is compromised, the more simply you eat, the better things are going to be for the individual. So there's plenty of people who will look at that pie and go, I can't eat that. That's just way too complicated. But there's plenty of people who are going to look at that and go, I can't eat that just because I never eat nuts. And then others might say, well, the food combining is really pushing the limits. I might notice some trouble from that. Maybe you might, maybe you won't. But I mean, for me, I've eaten lots of a Reese's pie. What I find is that they're very filling, they're very satisfying, but they don't digest as quickly as if you just had a slice of mango. I mean, it's way richer than just a slice of mango. And so it's going to take more time. There's a lot more calorie density in a bite of that pie than you're going to find in a bite of any kind of fruit. So, but that doesn't mean poor digestion. It just takes longer.
So aren't those sugars sitting in your system longer, Doug? Because that's the confusing thing to me is like, being a raw vegan for 12 years, the learning that I got was that you keep those separate, right? But then if you're eating the fat with the fruits, which digest quickly, then what's happening is you're slowing down the sugar.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is why we're saying that when you're looking at super sweet fruit, the non acidic fruits that have the most sugar, this isn't going to sit well. You're going to end up with some fermentation of the sugar. But when we're talking about pineapple, mango, berries, yes, a pineapple can taste sweet. If you get a really good, Central American pineapple, it's pretty sweet, but it's still not sweet like a sweet fruit is. It's only sweet because it's juicy. And so you taste the sweetness because it's so wet. Um, if you put a tiny bit of sugar into a glass of water, you can tell that the sugar is there. But if you put that same amount of sugar into a little bit of almond butter, you're not going to feel the sugar because it's not wet enough for you to be able to pick up the sugar flavor.
Got it.
So a lot of the fruits that we go, oh, it's so sweet. The mango's sweet. The berries are sweet. The pineapple, the orange juice, even it's not that sweet. It's just that it's super wet, and so you have instantaneous access to all of the sugar that's in it, and you can notice that it's sweet, but it's nowhere near the cut. I mean, even a sweet orange has half the sugar of a banana, half, right? And so um, when you're saying, the sugar slowed down, yeah, the sugar slows down a little bit. Might it ferment if your digestion is really, really compromised? Well, yeah, if your digestion's really, really compromised, I wouldn't say which funky combinations could I eat. I'd say let's heal up your digestion, get it to a point where you're fully functional again. Uh, and in an ideal world, if we were going to be as pristine as humanly possible, would we ever make a pie? No, probably never. But we have holidays too, and we like to lure people in, and I've lured people in with just phenomenal mango or phenomenal pineapple. But people can relate to pie.
Thank you, Doug. Yeah, that looks delicious. I hope I can eat that someday.
I hope so too. It's
Thank
really
you,
good.
Dr. Graham. And those kind of questions we answer in detail in educational series that Dr. Graham actually teaches once a month. There is a class, so please feel free to take a look and sign up and subscribe to this series. Those questions are answered in really detail there. So, but let's go back to what do you like about the show? What would you like to change? What recipes would you like to see? Please, if you want to learn something, let us know.
Yeah, we're not pulling teeth here. We're just having friendly conversation, but we love your input. And again, I'm going to remind people again that we want to put your testimonials on our site. If you're enjoying the show, please send us a minute or a 3-minute clip. You can make it in the comfort of your own home. Tell us what you like about the show or how it's helped you, or if there's been inspiration, or which chefs you've enjoyed the most, or what you hope you're going to see in the future. Tell us a little about yourself, and we want to feature you.
I have some feedback. I've really enjoyed the show, as you guys know, because I've been here for almost the whole time since it began. And I get so much out of it and learn so many techniques. And I really love the community, as Brian touched on, and just knowing that there's other people aiming to create food this way. And so that community and support has been so helpful for me. And I just wanted to echo Raphael's feedback from last week. I really liked his suggestions of showing us the 80-10-10 type meals, because one of the things I learned at the internship with Dr. Graham was just how to get the combination right and how to get enough of like a fruit meal before your dinner meal. And so I would love to see the chefs showing kind of like, you know, the start to finish of what the dinner meal looks like, perhaps with starting with a juice or a fruit and then into the veggie meal that is 80-10-10. I think breakfast and lunch are pretty self-explanatory. I don't know that everybody is always eating fruit, but that's a really pretty simple thing to do. But I find the dinner, I'm still new to that combining technique, and I'm, you know, doing it as best I can from what I learned. But so thanks, Raphael, for that feedback last week, because I love that.
Thank you, Sarah. That's really valuable again to hear that again.
Anything else, Larissa?
Yes.
More of the 80-10-10 specific, simple combinations that that I learned in the beginning. You know, I'd like to see more of those.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for cooking that awesome food with us. Thank you for being part of Let's Cook Raw community. We'll see you next Sunday.